Hello YouTube, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be recording a little bit about oysters, opening oysters. I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland, so we're heavy in Chesapeake Bay country. So I'm going to give you a little overview, really reviewing the knife I'm using today. Excellent oyster knife. We'll talk a little bit about oysters. So this is my setup I have for oyster shucking. This is my man cave area in my basement. Used to be my brewer area for beer. Still got my kettle there and my hood. I usually set a bucket up on the floor for my shells and shuck over top that. Got a towel set up for opening. Got a couple jars there. Some oysters that I've already cleaned off in the sink. Everything I need ready to go. Some paper towels. So that's my setup. And got a little music going down here usually. All right, so the main purpose of this is reviewing this oyster knife right here. It's called the Toadfish. Let's see if I can get a Toadfish. Very durable. Which one you want an oyster knife? Blade, it looks like it's a stainless steel. Does have a little cutting edge on this front portion of it on each side. Tip is very strong, but I think I have chipped it a little bit. This is my about third bushel I've opened with this knife. Nice thumb hold right there for you, and on the back side of it, nice indentation for your fingers. Bulbous handle, which helps be able to work that knife in the hinge of the oyster. The oysters I'm using or have today are from the Nanticoke River, eastern shore of Maryland, kind of right north of Salisbury, Maryland. They're not pretty easy oysters to open. They're not hard to open. Kind of medium type of oysters. They're not real long and narrow, and they're not round. They're salty. There's salty water there here in the Chesapeake Bay. Salty water, especially lower bay. So I'm going to open these oysters from the hinge. So when I orient the oyster, put the hinge towards me. The flat side, the straight side of the oyster to my right, the curved side to the left. So is actually called the left side and the right side. Left side is where the water comes into the oyster. Right side is where it comes out. So filter it out. So let's try to get one open here. Toadfish also has this shucking cloth here also. It's like chainmail. I mean, it'll hurt your hand. I can feel it, but it's not going to go through there and cut me. So it is very nice. I don't use it all the time. A little bit of mud in that one there. So I started the hinge, go in there, get it nice and secure, push and twist at the same time. This one's going to be a little booger, so I'm going to put the cloth over top of it just in case I slipped. These oysters have a pretty tough shell. They're not farm raised. They're from a waterman I get, CR. He's got his license to sell to the public, so I get them from him. These are about, I think I gave him $50 for this bushel. He's getting 40 from the buyer right now, so I give him a little bit more to hook me up. So you see, I didn't get that adductor muscle all the way there on the top of the shell. Adductor muscle, heart is actually, I think that darker part right there. It's back here somewhere. Again, water comes in this side, comes out that side. The anus is actually right up in here somewhere where it comes out. The mouth of the oyster is back here. And this is the belly, intestines, liver in here. If I went all the way through when I cut that hinge and popped it at the hinge, that would have went into the belly. I do that quite often. I'm not professional, but cut the belly open, it doesn't look nice when you do that, so I try to avoid it. I pop the hinge, and then if I can, I'll go in the side here and cut that adductor muscle at the top, right here at the top and all the way through, and they let your top shell come off. Then I'll go in and get the bottom adductor there, and then go all the way around your oyster. Okay, so that was not too mangled. You see a lot of times in a restaurant they'll flip the oyster over because they mangled it opening up. Gills or here, that's what filters the water. This part out here on the fringes, I forget what it's called, but it helps in making a new shell and also giving the color in here. But the gills to filter the water are in here. So that's all cleaned out. That one wasn't muddy at all. If it was, I'll use the juices to the oyster to kind of help clean the mud out, pour it off. I've got my bucket down here beside me that I put my shells in. So this one I'm going to put in with my single frieds and get rid of that shell. You see I cleaned the adductor muscle off pretty well at the bottom. So like I've got two jars set up. One for single fried oysters, and one which I like to be bigger and full, you know, not mangled. Just gives a nice appearance when I'm frying them. And one for oyster fritters. They might be smaller ones or ones I did cut into the belly or just didn't come out clean when I was shucking them. And then I also got a jar of extra liquor here. All right, so again, in at the hinge, curved side on the left, flat side on the right, some false muscles or something there. Like to have a clean knife when I start. Get in at the hinge, feel it really good. I feel like I'm in good right now. I'm not going to use my cloth. But I broke off a piece of either another shell that it attached to, because you know oysters do need something hard to attach to when they're spat and floating around. Since I broke it off there, I'm going to go ahead and use the cloth. Make sure I don't have to make a trip to the hospital today for some stitches. Alright, I'm in there. So, I'm in, twist a little bit. I'm going to clean some mud off. Try to get in on the side to get that adductor muscle cleanly. There. You can feel the shell release. There we go. So I did cut that one pretty clean. See a little bit of shell back here at the back where I went in. Get underneath there. So, you'll see that oyster's a little bit darker looking back here in the belly. Some of them are, you know. For me, when I'm opening them, I kind of do judge them and decide whether I want to keep it or not. Sometimes they just don't look good. They're maybe real gray or kind of transparent all the way through. I don't tend to keep them. They just scare me. I don't want to get sick from oysters, which is one reason I only eat them during the months with R, and usually I wait till the colder months with R. November, December, when the water is cold. I just think the oysters are better then, and that's when I tend to buy them. I buy 3-4 bushels a year and shuck them for friends and family. So there we are again, came out pretty clean. It's a pretty good looking oyster here. I didn't mangle anything in there. I'm going to put that one in with single frieds. I'll turn it over for you before I get a bottom side. A little bit back there at the mouth. We'll Try to keep that out. Sometimes you do find little worms in there. I mean, they're from the sea, right? From salt water. So clean those out. Most of the time they're on the outside of the shell, though. You do find baby crabs inside sometimes. I think they're called slough crabs. And they are a delicacy to some people. I don't like them. Find them in my oysters, but I've had bushels before where I found almost every oyster had one in it just for some reason. So again, these oysters are from Nanticoke River in Maryland. I open from the hinge. I've tried opening from the side before. I just can't find the place to do that. My buddy down in Chincoteague, Virginia, chips off the bill with a hammer and opens his that way. They're Chincoteague oysters. They're harder to open. So thanks for watching. Any questions, shoot me on the comments below. Thanks. Like I said, I do eat oysters raw. I know y'all want me to prove it to you. So I usually don't do none of that cocktail sauce or lemon juice or any of that stuff. So here's another one, nice and juicy. Salty, meaty, nice and fat. It's good oyster. All right, so again, this knife I was reviewing was an oyster knife made by Toadfish. Nice knife, like it. It's my favorite knife. I will buy another one when this one goes on me. Really like the handle, and it's very durable. Good ergonomic design. Here's compared to just a regular oyster knife. See, the tips are a little different there. It's not a bad knife, the white one, but it's not, definitely not as good as the Toadfish. But it does the job. One not to buy, and I just keep this around to show people. I think I got this from Bed Bath Beyond years ago. Terrible knife. I don't know why they would even call it oyster knife. Kind of looks good. I mean, fits in your hand well, but maybe you want to go stab somebody, I don't know. But not for opening oysters. It does not work for that. Don't buy it. You want to get yourself something, get yourself this Toadfish. It's a little pricey, but it's worth the money. I would also go ahead and get that that cloth also, made by Toadfish. That thing's nice. Really helps me. All right, thanks.